Rockford's home for Classic Rock, 96.7 The Eagle. Good morning. I'm Double T's special guest joining me, singer, songwriter, singer from the band Scandal, Patty Smyth. Patty, how you doing?
Woo! I'm awesome. I'm doing great. Considering the madness, I am doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well, too. And you got something fun. You've got a new album out, and it's got the perfect title, It's About Time.
Well, when my manager was like, I guess it was probably, we named this record way after it was done. So it was probably like February, right before it really got crazy. He's like, what do you want to call this record? I'm like, how about It's About Effing Time? And then how about It's About Time? And I'm really sorry it took so long. We vamped on that for a while. So, and I think It's About Time is the right title. But what's funny is after, because we chose it really quickly, I realized a lot of the songs are also about time. So it just sort of is apropos, it seems. I didn't realize that I was writing about time, too.
Yeah, I don't think people understand you work hard on the album, but then after you're done with it, you got to come up with a title, which is almost even harder.
Well, most people will use, it was really, my last, and what I consider, my last, and my first solo record was Patty Smyth. That's what I called it. That was a tough one. But, the one I did in 87, they called it, I thought it was going to be a Scandal record. It came out as a solo record. They named it Never Enough after a song. So usually that's what you'll do. You use a song title. But I didn't want to use a song title. I'm not really sure Patty Smyth Drive or Patty Smyth Build a Fire. I could have, but I felt like I needed to say something about how long it had been.
Well, you brought up Drive. And, I got to sit down and listen to the album, and Drive is the song that really stuck to me. It stuck out. In fact, I listened to it, and I'm like, that's cool. And I listened to it right away again just to see, was that what I heard? Tell me about that song.
Well, I thank you so much for picking that one out, because I really feel like, I feel like that's the best song I've written in a really long time. That's a newer song. A couple of the songs on the record are older. They're like 8 or 9 years old that I've just been holding on to. But, but that one just came from it. And I find that when you have like little cracks in your heart sometimes, that you're carrying around and they're bugging you. That I went to LA, I wrote the music and melody with this guy Gerald O'Brien, who's great, and then I came back to New York, and I just didn't know what the song was about. I had no idea, but I had this little crack in my heart about my relationship with my sister and the past, and we had a crazy childhood, but we had also a fun childhood. So it was both. It was good and it was difficult too. So that's where the song came from. It was sort of like I just wanted to sort of write this. I don't even know how to even put it, but I wrote it sort of for her to try to get back to her. I felt we had such distance between us, and it could have been me, and I also evoked people that were my friends when I was a kid, people I've lost, so it was sort of like all those people, like, if we could just go back in time and drive and just, leave all of the kids and the mortgage and the fucking house and all of the crap that, we have to deal with now that we just don't, that we didn't have to then. We just got on our bike, really. It wasn't a car, it was a bike, but whatever.
Well, in the video, I love the video, and isn't it strange that now we're back to that world of video? We had it for a while, then it went away, and now it's back.
Yeah, I know, and it's very odd because a couple of people were like, oh, so you chose to put out a video, an album in the middle of COVID, huh? I'm like, what? I'm like, seriously? Did I like plan on COVID? Like, I had no idea COVID was coming.
Right.
I just, you put it on the docket and it's coming. I thought they were going to cancel the release actually, and I'm happy that BMG didn't, because it turns out Drive sort of speaks to a lot of what's happening right now in a way. Like, so many, who wouldn't want to get in a car and drive out of this reality right now? And that's basically what Drive is about, to drive back to some place in if it's your childhood or your 20s or wherever, where, things were normal, not like they are now. So, And yes, now, video because of Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, like I did Jimmy Fallon the other night, and most of the people I talked to yesterday morning didn't see it because you're all morning people,
Right.
you don't stay up that late. But and then it went viral and got retweeted. It was awesome. We did a version of Goodbye to You. So, I mean, it's a crazy. I started with video, and it's still going.
Well, you took some time off. Or step back, I guess. I shouldn't say time off. You step back from the industry for a while so you could be a mom. And for a lot of people, they don't make that choice. Was that something that you had thought about a long time and decided, okay, if this scenario happens, I'm getting pregnant, I'm going to step back? Or did it just come to you at a moment?
It was not a conscious decision. I think I had my first kid when I was in my 20s, and no one was happy about it. I got a lot of backlash about it. It's not like it is today. Music business was so much more sexist back in the 80s, and, that people were not happy that I was having a kid. And, so that happened, whatever. And then, the 90s come, and I put out, I have the biggest hit I've ever had with Sometimes Love Just Ain't Enough, and a lot of stuff is going on, and music is changing. Nirvana's coming. There's some great bands coming, but stuff is changing. And I just sort of I had all these songs I was trying to write, and honestly, I lost interest. I mean, this is just totally an honest answer. I could not summon up the interest in what I was writing about. For whatever reason, I couldn't finish the songs. And I had some really good songs. So I had a sort of writer's block in a way. So maybe I was kind of burnt out a little bit. I'm not really sure what happened. And then, I met John. I met my husband out in California. Never in a million years did I think that we were going to have a romantic relationship. I'm a chick in a rock and roll band. All my friends are guys. So when I met him at a party, at a friend's party, he had 3 kids hanging off him. I had 1 kid, and he had been separated a year. I wasn't thinking, oh yeah, this is the man of my dreams, at all. But he was a nice guy. He was from the same part of New York that I'm from, and it was weird, I felt like I knew him. So fast forward 9 months later, and he called me and asked me out on a date, and the next day, we went out on a date that night, we went out the next day, and then we were together from that point on. And at that point, I kind of, I was, again, just sort of not really knowing what I wanted to do. He lived in New York, which was my hometown. I was living in L.A. at that time, and I just decided that I would move back. I moved back after my daughter finished her 4th year of school. And that's how it happened, and then I was pregnant. I mean, I was 36 at the time or something. I did not think I was going to get pregnant so fast, but guess what? The Irish Catholic genes kicked in, and boom, okay? So that's what happened. And then all of a sudden, he's got an ex-wife who's got some issues. I've got his 3 kids, my kid, and I have another kid. So I just was drowning in kids. So I was really just trying to keep my head up, and madly in love with my husband, but having 5 kids, so it just was all encompassing and all engulfing, and it was a very big life. Loud, messy, big, wonderful life. It had some, challenges, but for the most part, it was great. And I just got, it was a huge distraction. And I really think that was a big part of it for a lot of, for the first 5 years, 5-6 years. And then we did Bands Reunited. And then I started touring, in 2004. I toured every summer. I put a band back together with some Scandal guys, and we had fun. And I've been doing that the whole time. But I just couldn't get to who am I going to put a record out with? What songs am I going to use? And are these good enough? Is that guy? So I didn't, and I was trying to find the right manager. Everything didn't line up until it lined up. And that's the truth. And why it took so long, I don't know. But I've got, a whole lot of songs, and my daughters are running around with 15 demos of mine on their iPhones, that they are pissed off that I didn't put on this record. So it kind of went like that. I hope that explains it. But it really wasn't a conscious decision.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. Now, you talk about your daughters and your demos and stuff. So do they think it's cool what you do?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They're they love it. Are you kidding me? They're I don't even think, and I guess because they got enough of me being their mom, obviously, they would come to my shows sometimes when they were little. I took my my youngest daughter on the road with me a little bit. So it's normal for them to, that their dad's on TV and that I sing. So it wasn't, but I was home a lot, so it wasn't, it didn't get in their way. With Ruby, and I was a single mom, she would be like, no, sing, Mom. Like if I was singing around the house, stop singing. Like she didn't want me to sing when she was little. She was like, stop it. Focus on me. So they do love it, and I think it's awesome because they just post. They'll reposted everything from Fallon, like coolest mom ever. I think they like that I'm tough and whatever. So, I mean, I'm very proud of my daughters. My daughter in law school. One of them is going to be a teacher. One of them is a senior in college. So, they're righteous. They're righteous, strong women. So, and I have a beautiful stepdaughter too, who is also a sweetheart.
That's so cool. And so if you do like a summer tour or something, is it a family affair? Does everybody come with, or do they stay back?
Nah, I don't know. It's funny about that, because none of them wanted to really come on the road with me. I think Ava came once, but, they're all were doing their things. They were, especially as they got older, and when they were little, they wanted to go to camp or they wanted to be with their friends. But I'll tell you the truth, when I never went on the road like 3 months out on the road. I would do 10 days, then come home. Then I go out for 10 days. So I wasn't gone that long enough for them to really come with me. But I'm going to be totally honest here. It's like, I just want to be a rock chick when I'm on the road. I don't want to be a rock chick / mom. So when I brought them out with me, I'm like, I am not your mom now. Don't call me mom. Call me, Her Majesty, and wait on me hand and foot. No, I'm just kidding. But, the truth is like, it's hard to be a mom and to be a performer. When they're little, it was, I'd have to bring a nanny with me or John or whatever. So it was kind of nice to step out of being a mom and just get out on the road and be me again.
Yeah, that's so true. I'm talking to Patty Smyth, singer, songwriter from the band Scandal. Her new album is It's About Time, and the album was produced. Who I didn't know was a producer. I just know him as a guitar player from the band Giant, Dan Huff.
A great guitar player. I know. I ran into him at the BMI Awards in Nashville, and it was crazy. I mean, it turns out he's one of the biggest producers down there. I'm like, what? And he doesn't really play guitar that much, I don't think, anymore, which is a shame because he really is great. So that's how it happened, where I just said to him, look, I want to make a record. I just want to make an EP, and I think you can help me. I had sent him Drive and another song, and I was like, what do you think? And he goes, well, Patty, he goes, do you want to make a country record? And I'm like, no, I don't. He goes, okay, I'm in. Not that I don't love country music, I do, but, he's probably sick of people coming down there and trying to make a country record,
Oh, yeah.
Well, Nashville probably is at this point, but I've always loved country music, but I like old school country music, more. And they're storytellers. That harkens back to Irish folk songs and Scottish folk songs. So it's sort of, and my mom ran coffee houses when I was a kid, so I grew up on folk music. So that's why I've always sort of liked George Jones and Tammy Wynette and Dolly and Johnny Cash and all that. So that's in there with Led Zeppelin, Janis Joplin, and everybody else.
So I'm sure a lot of your plans for the year got canceled, but as soon as things clear up, will you hit the road to support this music?
I want to, and yes, I will. Given it a chance, I'll perform in a Walmart parking lot at this point. So yes, I really want to do that, and I'm hoping that we have that we can get through this winter and that we can get this thing under control, and that, this vaccine actually works, because it was kind of fast. But, we got to get this thing under control. We got to get back to work. Everybody's got to get back to work. I'm very lucky that I'm in a position where I can sort of ride it out a little bit, but there's a lot of people who cannot, and a lot of musicians and artists and just regulation restaurant workers, everyone. So, we all need to go back to work, but yes, I definitely want to do it. I would do it for free. That's how bad I want to do it. How's that?
Come to Rockford. We'll do a show for you.
All right. I'll be there. I promise.
If people want to find more information about you, where to get the album and all that stuff, where's the best to find you?
I mean, I think the best place people can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I also have, I think it's Patti Smyth and Scandal as a website, but the album It's About Time is available. I also have my own YouTube channel, so follow me on my YouTube channel because that's fun to get more followers. But also, it's everywhere: Spotify, Walmart. Barnes and Noble, Amazon. They're selling it everywhere. It's everywhere.
Yes, everywhere. Get it now. It's About Time. It's a great album.
Everyone for Christmas.
It's a stocking stuffer. Perfect. I love it. Patti,
I did do a Christmas record too, so they can download that too if they want to hear my mellow. And I wrote 3 new Christmas songs. That was 4 years ago. But I'll tell you what, it's hard to write Christmas songs, so you got to check that out too.
Well, I think the level is just so high of the classic Christmas song. It's hard to reach that pinnacle.
Yeah, I have a song called Come On December that's pretty good, though. I think you might like that. But it is hard. It is definitely hard. But I keep trying to get people to write them with me, and they're like, no. I'm like, come on, let's give it a shot.
No, thank you.
Exactly. Too hard. Well, it was great to talk to you. I'm glad we got to speak. Thank you so much for asking me about Drive and liking it so much because it's one of my favorites, too, and it was just really fun to talk to you. Stay safe, okay?
Yeah, you too, and hopefully we'll cross paths sometime in the future.
I hope so. God bless.
Thank you so much.
You too. Bye-bye.
Patti Smyth, singer-songwriter from the band Scandal. It's Rockford's home for classic rock, 96.7 The Eagle.